guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And can it get any worse? I mean, I woke up at legit 2 p.m. here in Australia, and the first thing I do is look at my phone. Oh, Brighton have activated the release clause of Rutter for 40 million. I go, huh? Like, can it get any worse? We just got battered 3-0 by Middlesbrough in the cup, and now we've got to hear the news that, oh yeah, Brighton have activated Jorginho Rutter's um release clause. And the thing that I don't get about this is 40 million release clause. I'm sorry, but 40 million is the one that is what confused me. We paid 35 million for him. We paid about 35 million for Jorginho Rutter. So you put a release clause in someone's contract of 5 million extra. What the hell is going on? And it's not only this, it's the fact that we've lost Gray, which we got told was because of FFP. Fair. Then we lost Somerville. Now we're going to lose Rutter. Once Rutter goes, that rips like the heart out of the squad, to be honest, in my opinion. Don't be surprised if after Rutter goes, Nonto will follow soon and be gone. What players are we keeping? And I'm not going to hear this bullshit about, oh, they never said that. They never said that. They said to us, this deal with Red Bull will be the difference of keeping and selling a player. What's that player we're keeping? What, Max Vober? Is that the player they're talking about keeping, Max Vober? Because we're getting rid of Gray, Somerville. Now Rutter could be going, unless he says himself, I want to stay at Leeds and stay in the Championship. And if he does stay, fair play. But if he goes, he deserves to play Premier League football. If he goes, I'm not going to have anything against him. I'm not going to be against him. He gets to play in Europe. He gets to play European football, because I'm pretty sure Brighton are in Europe. They are, right? Yeah, pretty sure. So he gets to play in the Premier League and in a European competition. I would go if I was him. If I was him, I would be gone. I would go and leave the club. Honestly, if I was a footballer, if you think about it logically as a footballer who's not a Leeds United fan, because he's not like us, he's not a Leeds United fan, he can go. He would be like, Premier League football, European football, bye. Like, I think he's going to go. And it just annoys me, the fact of these transfers. It's been about 20, I think it's been 24 days, 25 days since the last time we have signed a player, which was Bogle, wasn't it? Yeah, Bogle. It's been like 24, 25 days since we've signed a player. Now, we said before the season started, even beforehand, remember? Oh, we're ahead this time. Last season we started poor, and like we had excuses of like, yeah, the start of the season was poor, players wanted to leave, and everything was going on around the club, which is fair. And then this season they said, we're 5 weeks ahead, we're on it, we're here. Well, we still need a left back, by the way. We still need another 8, an attacking 8. We need a winger to replace Somerville, not replacing Swap, but we need a replacement for Somerville, like another winger, which we can't even get Johnny Rowe over the line when it was like reported. Like, I don't even know how much we have to spend on him. I don't think we're getting him now. Honestly, I don't even think we're gonna get him. I think we're trying to, do it on the cheap. It's coming back. What if we're doing it on the cheap? Because it seems like we don't want to pay a certain amount of money for some players. Which you can say, okay, that's fair. But some fans think we're going to get Jack Clark. Well, Jack Clark who costs 20 million. Jack Clark who costs 20 million. And think about it, it was only like, what, 2 weeks ago, everyone was like, we're going to keep Somerville. If you don't laugh, you cry. If you don't laugh, you cry. If Rutter leaves, where does the goal contributions come from? I'm sorry, but where does the attacking work come from? Because I'm sorry, but Rutter does everything himself. Not everything, of course, but a lot of things go through Rutter. Rutter does things that other players can't do. He is irreplaceable in the Championship. There's zero chance you can replace him in the Championship. Even when you're in the Premier League, it's a pretty difficult player to actually replace, even in the Premier League, with what he does and the skills he has and how he beats a man and goes past players, like you guys know. Yes, he's finishing not perfect, but everything he does create chances, put balls through for players. Players couldn't finish some chances last season. Like, how many chances he created himself for other players? Like, we should probably score way more goals than what we did. He links it all together. He's the player that links the entire attack together, and we're going to lose him now. And who plays in that position? No offense, but Brendan Aronson, yes, he scored in the first game of the season, but in that cup game, he wasn't great. But yeah, he scored and had a good 20-minute cameo off the bench. Yeah? He's not going to deliver the way Rutter delivers. No one is, and that's nothing against Aronson, because no one in the Championship is going to deliver the way Rutter is. The only way we can replace Rutter, and I'll be like, okay, that seems good, is Schmodix. Schmodix is the only player I can see coming in where I go, okay, we've lost Rutter, but we brought in Sammy Schmodix, so it's maybe Schmodix is the bit of a down. I don't even know if he's a downgrade really because he's already. I think he scored 2 in the first game of the season or something. He's playing well again this season. People are saying one season wonder. He's a player that I would say he's the only player that I want to bring in if Rutter goes. If Rutter goes, he's the only player that I'll see coming in and me being like, okay, Modric is a good replacement for Rutter. Because no offense to Aronson, he's not going to get the same attacking and create the same amount of chances that Rutter has. No one else is in the front line is going to create the chances that Rutter creates. So if he goes, we're in a lot of trouble. And this whole thing about, oh, we were 5 weeks ahead. I'm going back to it again. We were 5 weeks ahead. We're 5 weeks ahead on transfers. We're in the correct position. We're in the right position to do our business. And we're 5 weeks ahead of last season. And we're going to get it all sorted before the season started. Well, the season started. We drew to a League One promoted team, 3-3, where we conceded 3 goals. And we just lost 3-0 to Borough in the Cup. So we've conceded 6 goals in 2 games. Yeah, like I'm looking at the defense more than the attack. To be honest, I know we're losing Rutter and that's massive for the attack. I'm looking at our defense way more than our attack. We've conceded 6 goals in 2 games, and then you're gonna say we're gonna lose all the creative ability that we have from Rutter. So like, it confused me like why there was a 40 million pound release, 40 million release clause. I think it's pounds release clause on his contract. Right? It makes no sense when we paid 35 million for him. So, or did we pay 30 to 35 million? So what, a 5-10 mil extra we make, which is bad. Like, oh my god, the for me it should have been what? Probably like I think the release clause honestly should have been 60, 70. If you're gonna spend 30, 40 million on a 30 million, 35 million on a player, surely the release clause should be 60, 70 million. I mean, that would make sense for me. The release clause seems so low, classic Leeds United. We do things, everything we do is difficult. Where can we do something easy for once? And if he goes, which is not confirmed that he's gone yet, but if personal terms get agreed, he's gone. Like, they paid the release clause, so it's up to Rutter whether he goes or not. And I'm not going to have a grudge against him if he does go, because it's the club's fault for putting the release clause in. And there's nothing against Rutter if he goes, and I'll understand him going. As I said, European football and Premier League football. Of course, most players would go. The thing about Rutter is the only thing I think he likes Leeds, and maybe that's the slim. I have a slim hope of him saying, "No, I want to stay at Leeds and help them get promoted." There's that slim chance, but it's very very slim even for Rutter, who I think loves it here. But it confuses me with how we do our business, and then we get told Parag, oh, I do transfers in my sleep. I do this in my sleep. Oh, I'm so good at doing all this. And look what's happened. Look at what happened. Yeah, you do things in your sleep, yeah? 24, 25 days since we made a last transfer. Who have we bring in? Third choice goalkeeper in Cairns. We bring in Rothwell on loan. Rothwell was alone, yeah? We bring in Rodon, yeah, we bring in Rodon on a permanent. Fair play. And we made a fourth signing. Bogle, and we brought in Bogle. Those are the only 4 players we signed. I don't count Voba, who's come back. I understand he's come back. Aronson, who's come back. They don't count. I know they're new players basically because they weren't here last season, so people always class them as new players, but they're not. We've made 4 signings, and out of those 4, who's a starter? Rodon and Bogle, but I don't trust Bogle. I'd rather Byram starting, to be honest, off the performance that he had in the league in the first game of the season. And then what? And even Rodon. Rodon's come back and he's not looked great. His passing's been poor. He's been giving the ball away passing wise a lot. You know, like none of the signings have actually done anything really. If you look at it, none of the signings that we made this season have actually delivered it all. Rodon's been kind of poor passing wise and giving the ball away with some poor passing. Rothwell's been off the bench, so I'm not going to say anything about him. Bogle gave away a penalty in the first game of the season. Like, and Ken's the third choice keeper, so he's not going to get any games. So really, if you look at all the signings, this window for me at the moment is probably like a 3, a 4, maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10. A 3 or 4 out of 10. And now we're losing if we lose Jorginho Rutter, as I said, what do we do in attacking? Because everything seems to go through him. Are we gonna is it gonna be back to give the ball to Nonto, give the ball to Nonto, give the ball to Nonto every single game? Because that's what it looks like it's gonna have to be. If he goes, the clubs is gonna be like, oh yeah, just keep going to Nonto, just like we did in the Premier League. When we were there, and he was like the only bright spark in the team on the left side, and we kept going, give it to Nonto, give it to Nonto. Are we actually gonna do that again? And as I said, if Rutter goes, I could see Nonto following. I can see Nonto going to Everton and following very, very soon after, and I would not be surprised. This team's falling apart. This team's falling apart. I can't believe the news that Rutter could go. Especially the news came out because I went to sleep after the game. The news came out before some people even got home from the game. People that went to the game wouldn't have been home yet. They would have been like, "Oh, that was." Imagine getting home and you're like, "Oh, that was shit. What a shit performance. We got battered 3-0." And then they pull out their phone and go, "Rutter." Like, can it get any worse? Can it get any worse after that performance? A 3-0 loss to Borough. Can it get any worse after a 3-0 loss? That, oh yeah, by the way, our best player could be going because his release clause is being met by Brighton. I can't believe it. I mean, if you guys like the video, please like the video, of course. Yeah, please like the video for my sake, please. Subscribe if you're new and all of that, and I'll catch you all next time.